Hi everyone. So we're gonna do one more graffiti video here, and I'm gonna show you some things real quick, and then we're gonna take everything that we've learned so far and put it together. So just as a real quick reminder here, when you're drawing your letters, you write out the letter normally, and then you're gonna go around that letter to get your block letter or your graffiti letter. And then we can, erase that little stick letter inside. So I want to show you how to do some fades here, or as someone recently showed me, some gradients. But for a fade, what we can do is we can create sort of another letter inside the letter that we just drew. So, you can see real light. I went around here in the inside of the T. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color that in, but as I go, I'm gonna get lighter and lighter and lighter. Now, if you're working with color, you can do this with color and it creates a cool effect. I'm just doing it with pencil here. And it still creates a nice little fade or gradient effect. And that is one way to do it. And then you can see it fades from dark into light. Another way, and this is a way someone just showed me how to do gradients here, is I can, again, write my letter. And then I get something like this. And then I can make a gradient using shapes. So I can start off with these thick, and then I can get thinner as I move up. And thinner still. And then really thin. And then same thing here, I can color these. So instead of my gradient happening in terms of light to dark, it's now happening in terms of thick to thin. So I get something like that. So that is another way you can do gradients. You can also kind of play around with the shape of these gradients. So again, here's my letter. So they don't have to be these straight lines like in my P, but I can actually kind of make them abnormal shapes. Again, as long as I'm making them thinner as I go up. So maybe I get something that looks like this. And then same thing, color this all in. Color this all in. And I get the same effect. So there's some gradients. Now you can also do things like this. And even though we're not working with spray paint, we can make it look kind of spray painty. So you can add things like this so that they're like these sort of spray paint globs, just these shapes. And this is cool too. So maybe get something like this. So there's all kinds of different things to do to the letters. At this point in time, we know how to draw our letters. Right now, we're just kind of putting the icing on the cake. So we're adding all this fancy stuff to make it look like graffiti. So I've showed you how to do the letters. I've showed you how to do drop shadows and gradients. So let's put this all together into a finished product here. So once again, maybe let's draw art. So I have my A, my R, and my T. And now I'm gonna make my letters. Maybe I add some fancy things to them. And I'm gonna connect mine. So again, remember, we can just draw these letters. So there's my art. And I'm gonna go around the outside of this, just like this, just like this. And so there are my letters. And now what I can do is I can erase all this stuff inside, like this. So this is just kind of everything we've learned all put together from start to finish. So now I got something like this. Okay, so I have my letters, which is great. The next thing I need to do is drop shadow, right? So we did those last time. So I'm gonna throw my drop shadow in and I get this. And again, if you need to draw your letters on top of one another in order to get your drop shadow, that's fine. I've done a few of these, so I can just sort of wing it. So there's my drop shadow, and I can color that in, just like that, and like that. And now that I have my letters and my drop shadow, I can go in and I can make these look kind of cool by adding gradients or whatever else I want to do. So maybe I want a gradient on the T here. So I can start to do this. Maybe I want something like that. Or maybe I want one here. And maybe I want a shape gradient for this. So it's something like this. Or maybe I want some splatters. Or maybe I want something totally different that we didn't really do. And I'm just gonna do like, put some shapes here. Like this. Kind of all pieced together. So there's all kinds of things you can do with this. It doesn't just have to be what we talked about. It can be based off of what we talked about, but modified slightly, which I'm fine with that. So maybe it's something like this. So we're just taking these ideas and we're playing with them. And we're just modifying them so that they work with what we're trying to do here. Okay? So this is taking everything that we talked about. It's taking how to draw your letters, how to combine those letters, how to do drop shadows, and then things like gradients and the splatters and all the shapes in there. So we're just combining it all and we're putting it together and we are making our final graffiti piece. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully in seeing all of these different pieces, you are able to then put them together and make something cool. And thank you guys so much for watching.